Hello there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I wanted to start by saying thanks and congratulations for investing in yourself with my pocket program, Be Treated Well at Work. I wanted to start by introducing myself. For those of you who don't know me or don't know me well, I am Terry Westfall and I am a master work relationship coach. I work with professional women who manage either people or projects and they're struggling with a work relationship. And what we do is we work together to fix your people problems, especially if you're a people pleaser. I also wanted to share with you my work-life purpose or mission, which is to boost women up, build their confidence, and believe in them until they're ready to do it for themselves. That's why I created this program. And this video is to help you get into the program quickly so that you can get results fast. And I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Again, my pocket program is named Be Treated Well at Work. And who is this program for? Well, maybe she looks a little like this. She has career fatigue. She needs to wake up, stand up, speak up. She looks like this. She's just stressed. She's got too much on her plate. She feels as though she's sinking. She feels blown over by her emotions at work. She doesn't feel good enough, and she feels taken advantage of. But this program, in its reality, was actually customized for you. You may have a distorted view of who you are, and it is my goal to refocus your lenses so you can actually see the beautiful, brilliant woman that you are. And the why was because you have critical colleagues. Sometimes they might not be full-blown bullies, but sometimes they're bullies in disguise. They may think that they're the king of the hill. They certainly suck your life blood. They're all smiles in front of you, but watch out behind your back. They're a little crazy. They're the ones that are like, out of my way, I'm coming through. They can't see 2 feet ahead of themselves. They might be a jokester. Or they might be the typical bully, the terrorizer. So now you know who this is for and why I created it. Now I wanted to show you the bundle that you get. It's a brilliant bundle. It has 4 workbooks and 4 assessments. And the 4 workbooks are around belief, boundaries, and buttons. And each of the assessments are accompanying them so you can first figure out where in the spectrums you are and then work through the workbooks to kind of anchor down those issues or at least neutralize them. You also get wonderful accompanying bonuses. You get the daily work-life journal, the daily affirmations, and the mindset workbook. So how this video is going to work is I'm going to go over some statistics from a survey that I created. I am going over the treatment plan. There is a treatment of interaction that is causing you not to be treated well at work. And then there's some cure and causes, how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, and how others treat you. So of those 3 cure and causes under the primary kind of treatment plan, we have treat yourself well. And this is the one that I'm going to be working on in this bundle. And it comes down to your beliefs, your boundaries, and your buttons. And how this interacts together is the cycle of self-doubt. And what I'm going to do then is to dive deeply into the beliefs circle of this VIN because I don't have time to go over all of them, but they all pretty much work similarly. And then under the beliefs, kind of what are the belief characteristics? So with the beliefs, you will get certain tools. You'll get actually two workbooks and 3 assessments. So this is really where the majority of the work occurs. And that's because I believe that your beliefs are difficult to realign. That's because they are hardwired. They are your identity. They're the story that you've been bringing along with you. They're the things that you've been telling yourself and other people have been telling you since you were young. Your parents, your teachers, your pastors or ministers, all those individuals that we felt were authority figures and that we felt knew what was what, created or instilled these beliefs in us, and we have held true to them for way too long. So again, I wanted to start off with the survey information. I surveyed women just like us who have problems just like yours to find out really what's going on. And the pain points range from trying to do the impossible for the ungrateful, to not being taken seriously, to having other people push our buttons. And what I found out from a big picture view is that we feel like we're not good enough. We feel taken advantage of, and we feel easily triggered. Now, these 3 sliders are actually on my website, so you can go to my website, fixation.com, and there's more information around each of these areas. So then, more specifically, of those pain points, what were people experiencing the most? Not surprisingly, 33.3% felt that they dealing with toxic team members and people that push their buttons was the most painful at work. And then 16.7% said they felt undermined and they didn't like that their expertise was challenged, because that is not a lot of fun. And we said, okay, these are your pain points. How are they manifesting in work? Obviously, it's affecting your professional relationships, your credibility, your physical well-being, your mental health, your job security, your promotability, your financial security, and probably most importantly, your personal relationships. You're going home, you're complaining to your spouse, you're complaining to your friends, you're complaining to your family, and they're just like, And 83.3% said they think that this is happening, that yes, absolutely, this is how it's manifesting in my life. And 16.7% said, yeah, maybe I can see that. And absolutely no one said that it wasn't impacting them this way. All right, so that's the survey results. Now I want to get into the treatment plan. This is the treatment plan VIN. And these are the 3 areas that are critical in being treated well at work. We always think how others are treating us is what's impacting us at work. It really is 3 different areas. The first is, how do you treat yourself? Because if you're not treating yourself well, others aren't going to treat you well either. How you treat others, because if you're not treating others well, they're certainly not going to treat you well. And then finally, how others treat you. And it's funny because I started this journey by working with clients and going straight into how others treat you, because, you know, it was their fault, right? You know, they always do this and they never do that, and they should do this, and I wish they would do that. And then that was really coming from a blame shifting space. And I wanted to pivot that to a place of empowerment and encouragement and feeling as though you can really leverage you know, kind of your actions, because you really don't have that much control over how someone treats you other than how you are responding. So I think the cornerstone of the training is really how we treat ourselves. We need to treat ourselves well. And how we treat ourselves is dependent on our self-limiting beliefs, our boundaries, and our buttons. Then we have treating others well. And this really comes down to, are you creating a safe space for them? If you are going to yield multiple results from that. If you're not, you're going to hear things like, oh, everything's fine, nothing's wrong, perfect day. And in the background, and then with the individuals that they trust and feel vulnerable with, they're telling them really what's what. So how do you create safety? I created the acronym SAF for SAFE. And you really need to start with making the person feel that you think they're sensible. They make sense. People are going to be drawn to those who are treating them as though, what they think is reasonable. Then the A is the admired. That you think they're smart, that they think that they're competent, that they're, the go-to person in their space, that they really have their expertise nailed. So now think about that. You make the person feel like they make sense, that they're smart. That's going to go a long way to making them feel safe, and then making them feel favored, so that, they're special, that, they might be your favorite. And certainly that, they are someone that you like to hang around with. Now, I get that this is not always the case, but what I would submit to you is that with any individual, you can find this in this kind of state with them. You might have to dig a little harder with some than others, but you certainly can find it. And I challenge you to do that. And then finally, and the one that we have the least control over, is how others treat you. And that really comes down to, anytime you want to make a change, there are 3 elements to it. They have to be aware, they have to have the ability, and they have to have the motivation. If any of these are missing, they're not going to change. So how do the beliefs, the boundaries, and the buttons work together? Well, there is a cycle of self-doubt, a negative belief life cycle. And this cycle diagram shows how the lack of belief in yourself relates to a negative cycle of thinking and behaving that perpetuates a repeating pattern. This diagram exposes how our self-belief determines how others treat us and how we respond to them, and ultimately ourselves. And it really starts in the beliefs. I don't believe I'm enough, so I get taken advantage of because I am trying to prove that I'm enough. I'm trying to get everything done, make you think I'm capable. So I become resentful because I'm doing all these things, but I'm not being acknowledged. I'm not being appreciated. I'm not being recognized. So I lash out. Of course, when you're not being treated well and you feel like you're doing everything in your power, there's this fairness element, and you lash out because it's just, you're at a trigger point. So then you feel guilty and ashamed and frustrated, and you feel, I should have done better. And so you start thinking, I'm not enough, and you get taken advantage of, become resentful, and you lash out. This is a cycle. It's really the death spiral until you say, stop, I need to take different action. So again, we're going to really dive deeply into the beliefs. And that's the one circle in the beliefs, boundaries, and buttons, VIN. And there are 3 categories of beliefs. You have to start with the emotional before you can go to the mental, before you can handle the relational. And the emotional is really around believing that you're worthy, that you're safe, that you're in control. The mental is that you feel competent, autonomous, you have reasonable standards. And relational comes down to being treated fairly, belonging, and feeling that people are good. And so what are my beliefs? This is the first assessment. You will get a core belief questionnaire, and you'll answer a number of statements, either true or false, and then it'll populate under the different beliefs. And the beliefs are value, security, performance, control, love, autonomy, justice, belonging, others, do we feel others are good, and standards. This is just a snapshot of the questionnaire. There's probably 50 questions. It takes about 10 minutes to actually complete it. Very quick and easy. And then what in the spreadsheet, there's actually a separate worksheet, and it will pull the beliefs that you have said false to that are positive or true to that are negative. So this actually is from my own personal assessment, and under safety, I'm not willing to take risks. I don't like to take risks. And because I don't like risks, I choose my old familiar way of doing things over risking the unexpected. And then competency, I tend to avoid new challenges and I don't perform well under stress. I do not perform well under stress. And then you get this beautiful diagram that shows where your strengths and weaknesses are around beliefs. The higher the bar, the less the struggle. So this actually is my belief graph. And I have some pretty strong beliefs. I feel valued. I feel like I belong. I feel loved. I feel others are good. I feel secure. I feel I have solid performance. My control could be a little better, but it's a 7. But the 3 areas that I struggle with are autonomy, justice, and standards. So in my bin, I'll have autonomy, justice, and standards. Standards mean that I expect too much of myself. Justice means I'm treated unfairly, that people expect too much of me. And autonomy means I'm a people pleaser. So, each of us, our VIN will look differently and they will interact or interplace differently. But think about the person that has high expectations of themselves, have unrealistic expectations from others, and they're people pleaser. This person is going to have a lot of stress, a lot of churn, a lot of drama. And so I really wanted to work on that because I had all these other positive things going, but I really wasn't sitting well in my own space. So once you take the assessment, you will start into the How to Stop Feeling Not Good Enough at Work workbook. Lesson 1, you see to the left hand, there's 1, 2, 3 space for 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. That's where you put your lowest beliefs on, and you will work through thinking about who or where did these beliefs come from? Who talked to us about them? Are they in alignment with reality? What are the things that are coming out of this belief that are negative? What are the things that are showing up that are positive? And then we go into another separate assessment. So we went through the beliefs, but now we are going to go deeper into the beliefs. Belief drives how we feel. It's been said that belief is the bedrock of our personality and is ultimately the key to happiness. The key to happiness. If happiness is what we're searching for and beliefs are the key to securing it, then why are we choosing to be clueless about them? About how they're formed and recognized and ultimately revised to serve us? Because it's hard. Because we don't know how to, because we don't have time. Nonsense. I'll show you how. It's not that hard. You do have the time, and it's worth it. So again, we talked about the different beliefs, but now we're going to get into the sub-beliefs so we can really see what those beliefs look like. Under worthy, you're going to check, I'm not enough. I'm awkward, I'm broken, I'm invisible, I'm not special, I'm stupid. Safety, I'm afraid, I avoid risks, the world is not safe, I'm always on guard, I worry all the time. Competent, I am not smart, I struggle at work, I'm not skillful, I fake my knowledge, I hide my mistakes. Control, I can't control things, I feel out of control, I'm trapped, I feel powerless, others overpower me. Now we go through this same process for all 9 of the beliefs. And then we go into the beliefs, how they are causing us to feel. Feelings drive behavior. So beliefs drive feelings, feelings drive behavior, and conduct drives everything. It determines our work-life experience, our life experience, really. So feelings drive behavior, and while we are experts at feeling our feelings, we're not as good at labeling them. And it's important to label them because in order to regulate our conduct, we first need to unlock the mystery of what we are truly feeling. So it's not good enough to say, I don't feel good. It makes me upset. It sucks. The person isn't my favorite. So again, we look at the different feelings and we go into a deeper dive as far as what does that mean. So afraid, I'm afraid. But are you apprehensive? Or are you feeling dread or panic? Or are you petrified? Annoyed? Are you aggravated? Are you exasperated? Are you just displeased or irked? Angry? Are you enraged? Are you incensed? Or are you maybe just a little resentful? Aversion, animosity, disgust, hostile, repulsed. So then once you have the beliefs and the feelings identified, we're going to go into workbook number 2. And workbook number 2 has a number of pages, work sheets. This is just a smattering of them. You're going to put your life driving beliefs into the bin and populate and ponder them. So mine, again, we said were standards, autonomy, and justice. And then we're going to look at, okay, what are the negative beliefs, how are they showing up, and how are the positive elements of that belief showing up? It's important to also look at what is happening positively from a negative belief, because there are some things that are positive that are happening because of that belief. And if we don't address them, we'll continue to believe them because it's serving us. So that's around the beliefs. There's also a section around feelings. We're going to count up the number of feelings that we checked in the feelings assessment. We're going to look at the intensity. Were you just a little disgruntled, or were you horrified? And then we're going to look at how are you feeling currently. So sometimes you feel, petrified, but maybe right now you're feeling a little bit calmness. And so we're going to look at that so that we can see what's going on now. And then finally, one of the last exercises is we're going to canvas. We're going to look at what someone says, what belief is behind what they said, what feeling comes because of that belief, and then what behavior or what conduct did we respond with. This is, I think, one of the key elements of the program, because you start seeing patterns, and then when someone says something, you'll be like, wait a minute, I don't want to feel this, so I have to change my beliefs and I need to change my conduct around it. So that is pretty much the information that I have for you. So the video is now complete, but the work is not. I need you now, rather than go over and switching on Netflix, I want you to open up your assessments and get to work. You decided to invest in this program. Don't be like others who spend the money and then don't spend the time on getting their investment out of it. You wanted a coach. I'm your coach. The coach in me is telling you to get it done. You need accountability, you need responsibility, and you need determination to get through this. Now, again, it's a very easy program. I made it simple. It's going to take you just, minutes, maybe an hour here and there over a week, and you are going to hone in on the beliefs, the feelings, and the conduct that are making you not treat yourself well at work, so that you can start behaving in a way towards yourself that is going to treat yourself well, so that you can treat others well, so others can treat you well at work. Thanks. Have a great day.